then the visual notification on my Streamlabs, but I'm not sure if I see it all the time. I hope it doesn't happen too often. Anyway, so I was saying that apart from Guam and this landing here in the Dutch East Indies, I was able to contain the Japanese. I also haven't attacked the Philippines, which I have reinforced with 4 divisions. Then I have the Philippines here with their own forces. I think I can, for now, I can prevent them from landing. I'm not quite sure. Probably I should counterland and kick them out again of the Dutch East Indies, then reinforce Singapore, and then put pressure on them in Southeast Asia maybe, to slow them down once they will feel threatened. But they now have a basis on in the Indian Ocean, although only a small force, a couple of cruisers and destroyer flotillas and transports, but it's enough to be bothering my allies. And of course they have a pretty strong land force. They've just occupied Burma. Nepalese, British and Indians are fighting back, but so far they're giving up ground. It's a pretty big front. Difficult terrain, mostly mountainous in the north. I think something has to happen soon. My intention was, which is why I got involved in these naval battles, where we sank a grand total. Look at the I have to save first, because sometimes the game crashes when you look at the statistics. Let's look at the military ships stats. By the way, ship stats, do we have? Right, we have classes. Interesting. Okay, so in terms of battleships, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Wait. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. 16 battleships, of which Arkansas is the only one of the Wyoming class. We have a few Pennsylvania class. 3, 4, 5. We have 2 Colorado class. And 2 New York class and 2 treaty battleships. Okay. The dominant cruiser class seems to be the Northampton class. Light cruisers are mostly Omaha and St. Louis. And I found out that St. Louis actually here refers to the modern St. Louis class. There were apparently 2 St. Louis classes. There was an old one, like a World War I era class, and then there was a newer one. This is the newer one, so don't worry. I did research. text. Then we have 2 Lexington class carriers and 2 Essex class carriers, and I believe we're building at least 1 additional Essex class carrier. And we have an early treaty and 2 late treaty light carriers. And in terms of destroyers, Wickes, some C&D, isn't that a British class? Then Mahan, Porter, Somers, very good. Okay. And in terms of submarines, mostly, I guess, Porpoise Salmon and a few other classes. Okay. So we wanted to look at the ships sank. Look at the Allied navies. 16 battleships with an additional 8 from United Kingdom. We both have 4 large carriers. United Kingdom does have 44 destroyer flotillas because we gave them a bunch. Dutch and the Norwegians have a few destroyers, and the Canadians only have 2 destroyer flotillas. I did give the Canadians quite a bit of IC earlier, and I think now I'm only giving it to India and United Kingdom. I might have to add Australia and Canada again to the IC that I'm distributing. The UK also has 3 light carriers, but we are overtaking in heavy cruisers, but not yet in light cruisers. Okay, so and then ship sunk, that's what we are interested in. Let's sort by owner. The US did lose 6 ships so far. A carrier, the USS Ranger, a battleship, the USS Maryland, 2 light cruisers, Savannah and Phoenix, a heavy cruiser, the Minneapolis, and the submarine division. And we did sink Soviet Union did get a kill. They did sink some Japanese transports. And we as the United States did sink Japanese light cruisers for a total of 2, 3, 4, 5 light cruisers. We did sink 2 battleships, 3, 4 Japanese battleships, Yamashira, Yamato, Ise, and Mutsu. We sank a bunch of destroyer flotillas, transports. What about heavy? We did sink a battle cruiser. The IGN Hiei. Then we did sink a few heavy cruisers, Chokai, Oko. And we did sink 2 carriers, Soryu and Yo, as well as a light carrier, Hosho. Okay. So overall, the naval campaign is going well for the US. And I'm planning on landing either in Kwajalein or Inuitok rather soon. I want to put pressure on the Japanese, take control of the Pacific, securely link up with the UK in Singapore, and I see that my allies are under pressure here. At least some units are retreating to the south. I definitely want to keep that link here, and so I can cut off the Japanese from the Indian Ocean and linking up with the Axis that way. Also, of course, want to prevent them to be able to supply their armies over the ocean, because of course here it's going to be more difficult for them to supply their armies attacking India. So I'm going to have to act soon here. Going to have to land. Going to be difficult terrain. Seems like